Hello and good morning to everyone. And I can see with this program that it's a very European program and very wide. And of course, this is very interesting. The Eudicom, this project is financed by Creative Europe program, but it's financed by the now old Creative Europe program, the program of 2014-2020. Hopefully, we will soon have a new program entering into force in this year in April, following the adoption of the EU budget for the next 7 years. So we're quite happy because the negotiation have been difficult, but we have, I think, a beautiful program with an increased budget, a significant increased budget from the previous program. So the new Creative Europe program 2021-2027, so a 7-year program, will have a budget of 2.4 billion euros. And we have two main objectives. Promote cultural and linguistic diversity and heritage in Europe and beyond, and increase the competitiveness of the culture and creative sectors. I think those two objectives, which are offer a strong continuity with the previous program, are essential for our work and really our DNA of the program. Diversity, promoting diversity, and increase the competitiveness. And of course, competitiveness is even more crucial now because the culture and creative sectors, and including the book and publishing sector, has been severely hit by the crisis, by the COVID crisis. You will be able to tell us more about, how different countries have survived or have gone through this crisis so far. But competitiveness, resilience will definitely be a strong element of this program. As in the previous program, we will have three elements in this program. A strands covering most of the culture and creative sectors, except the audiovisual sectors, which would be covered by what we call the media strands, with a budget of 1.4 billion. So the culture strands will cover all other sectors, including the publishing sectors. I would like to mention that we have a cross-sectoral strand where we can finance activities and actions that are at the crossing of different sectors, and will encourage the collaborations between the film sectors, film and audiovisual sectors, with other sectors such as, for instance, the book and publishing sectors. So we will try to of course, facilitate and encourage collaborations and between different sectors. Just to finish on the general presentation, just a slide before, we would like to mention that for the first time, the program will also cover the news media sector, so journalists, so that we want to reinforce a diverse and pluralistic media environment. It's not absolutely relevant for the book sector, but it's very important considering what's happening in the world in terms of news media and pluralistic environment. Now, what will be the opportunities for the book sectors in particular in the coming years, and the calls we could be launched, the calls for proposal we will launch soon. So as I say, we hope the program to enter into force in April, and we will be able after that to launch 4 major calls for proposals that could be relevant for the book sectors. We will have support to corporations projects. We'll have support for network of professional organizations. We'll have a support for platforms for the promotion of European artists and works. And last but not least, support for the translation and promotion of literature, including, of course, comics and graphic novels, either as individual publisher or as grouping of publisher with maybe different partners such as bookseller, festival, and etc. I will now detail, some of them, and by maybe giving some examples of what we have done in the past, because we obviously the program offers strong continuity. The new program offers strong continuity with the previous program. So in the previous program, under the Creative Europe program 2014-2020, we have financed a lot of projects relevant for the book sectors. For instance, we have financed Versopolis, which is a platform to promote emerging poets. We have financed Transbook, which has developed interesting research on the future of children's book. And this project was organized by the Centre for the Promotion of Children's Book in Montreuil. So the organization that is running the Montreuil Book Fair. We have, and I see that Piero Tanasio is around. We are financing Aldus, which is a network of book fairs, which include, among others, the Bologna Book Fair and the Frankfurt Book Fairs. We have financed many projects dealing with literature and education, diversification of genre. More recently, we have also financed Europe Comics, which was organized by Mediatoon, and upon which I understand that Eudicom was built. At least it was an inspiration for Eudicom to be built. We have also last year selected a new program, a new project called Comics, a New Language for Europe, which is organized by Lyon Bande Dessinée and the Centre Belge of the Belgium Center of Comics in Belgium, and different organizations. We have also Invisible Line, which is training of illustrators, and of course we have Eudicom. So these are examples of the type of project we can finance. So what we call, next slide, what we call cooperations projects are any kind of projects for which we have at least 3 organizations coming at least from 3 countries deciding to join forces together and develop projects. The novelty, and I'm sorry I didn't put it on the slide, but the novelty in previous, compared to the previous program, is that we will offer higher co-financing rate to finance projects. So far, our co-financing rates were up to 60 or 60% of the total cost of the project. We will now offer higher co-financing rates, and we have proposed to offer up to 80% of the co-financing of the project for small, what we call small projects, meaning 3 or 4 organizations together, and we can offer a grant of 200,000 euros. We have decided to offer higher co-financing rates because we of course know that the sectors are in very dire situation now, and they don't necessarily have access to financing easily. So we are ready to finance project up to 80%, meaning that project holders, a project organization will have to bring only 20% of the co-financing for project up to 200,000 euro grants. We can also offer grants up to 1 million, and we offer 60%, 70% co-financing rate, or we can offer grants up to 2 million, and we can offer co-financing rate of 60%. I'm sorry to insist on the co-financing rate, but I think it's of course very important because when you develop a project, obviously funding is the key issue. So what are the priorities for the next round of cooperation projects? Obviously, we want to strengthen the transnational and the European dimension of creation and circulation for European contents and artists. So this is one of the objectives. The other objective is to foster innovations. When we say innovation, we don't necessarily only mean inventing new things, but innovation, as the beauty of innovation is when it's largely applied, and especially in Europe. So any projects that will help a particular sector or particular group of artists, or to apply and to take on board innovative practice and apply them in their daily work, will also be welcome. In a sense, Eudicom, this is what you do. You try to help the industries to explore how we can distribute comics differently by using digital strategy. So create just one slide before, and we will have the following priorities, which are quite general and quite wide, and it's not very breaking news. Obviously, we want also to reinforce the link with audience, and to make sure that cultural and creative organizations diversify their audience, find new type of audience, and engage more actively in the audience. We also have social inclusions as a strong priority. Social inclusion meaning making sure that any kind of communities which are left or which do not have access easily to cultural content are not left aside. Environment and Green Deal is, of course, one of the major important priorities of the program. You know that the EU has pledged that 30% of its expenses will be devoted to environment and Green Deal. So greening the book and publishing sectors could also be a relevant project. Could also be a subject for a project. How can we accelerate the greening of the book sectors? I'm not imposing, but so just suggesting. New technology and digitalization is of course very relevant topics, and once again Eudicom is among them. Internationalization of the sectors, going outside Europe could be also an interesting subject, and we will have one very specific priorities for the book sectors, which is, and it's linked to internationalization, which is to reinforce sales of rights and adaptation rights in Europe and beyond. So anything that can help the sectors to increase sales, and in particular sales from countries which are considered to be to have a languages that is lesser used, meaning not sales of not necessarily books in English or books in French, which are already very well distributed, but books in smaller languages such as Baltic states, Balkan, and etc. This is a very strong priority for us, is to help books to circulate in Europe. So this is really the menu for corporations. We will have another call, which is called platforms, and platforms is another way to cooperate, but with different specificity. It's very focused on the promotion of emerging artists. So as I say, we have, for instance, Finance Versopolis platforms to really push organizations to program and to include in their programming, in their festivals, and on their platforms online, more a diversified type of artists, and especially artists coming from countries which are not necessarily well represented in their own in the market. So it's really this scheme is really focused on diversification of programming, working together on a common branding element, common branding strategy, increasing the visibility. Really focused on B2C things. Another opportunities would be to finance European networks, and when we of professional organization, and when we speak about networks, we speak about networks of, let's say, 50, 60, 100 or several hundred organizations together, going together, being structured decided to be united so that they can circulate the information more easily, learn from each other. So we have network of theaters, network of operas, network of, but we don't have so far a lot of networks within the publishing sectors. Next one. Yep. And maybe very important for the book sectors is, of course, our support for translation and promotion of books. So far we have financed something more or less 60 publishers every year to translate and promote, on average for each publisher, 6-7 books. So altogether, I think every year we help the translation and the promotion of something like 400 books in Europe. We're talking about literature books. It includes, of course, comics and graphic novels, and we can support, the project of a publisher to do it. The novelty within the new Creative Europe program is that we will give the possibility for publishers to go to do a grouping of publishers and to put us more ambitious projects. So far we say you can bring a project with minimum 3 books, maximum 10 books. But sometimes 3 books is too much for one publisher, and they say, why can we not join forces with other smaller publishers so that we can present, very big projects whereby altogether we will be able to translate and promote, 7, 10, 15 books or more, or 20 books. So we will give the possibility of publishers to join forces, including in the same country, and to present us projects that are ambitious, meaning ambitious in terms of number of books to be translated and promoted, but ambitious also in terms of events, activities, and innovation that they will bring in, either for the translation of books, but also for the promotion and the kind of collaboration that they can develop with bookshops, with festivals, creating events, and reinforcing national and local ecosystem in their own countries, and or if possible, if they want, to develop synergies with other countries. So really, rather than just giving support to individual publisher, which would still be possible, we want to also encourage publishers to collaborate each other and to develop stronger projects where they mutualize costs, mutualize resources, and develop synergies together with bookshops and festivals. We quickly, that we have launched a kind of Erasmus for the artist. It's not as big as our big brother Erasmus, but we have a support for the mobility of individual artists. Obviously, this year it has been difficult to implement this support because of COVID restrictions, but we will enlarge this support. And basically, it will be at the disposals of individual artists to say, I want to go to this country to refine my works, to do research and etc. And I think it would be a good opportunity for the artist. Next slide. We will, of course, continue our prize for the European Union, for our prize, which is called European Union Prize for Literature. And every year we give this prize to 10 to 12 writers, giving higher visibility to literatures from different countries, and really emphasize the strong diversity and the strong creativity of the European publishing sectors. It's a good way also to bring together the European Federation of Booksellers, the Federation of European Publishers, and of course the Writers' Council. So it's a really symbolic of the our will, a desire that the industry talk to each other, exchange, and get together. And I think the last one, I mentioned that we will finance cross-sectoral actions, so actions that are not only focusing on one sector, but that will help, for instance, the music sectors and the book sectors to develop synergies, or the film sectors and the publishing sectors also to develop new ways of, finding a monetizing distribution, discoverability of content, get a grip on the opportunities offered by digital platforms. So it's there will be a lot of possibility to finance this kind of cross-sectoral projects. So yeah, I'm almost on time, sorry. So if you want to know more, you have one friends in your country which are called Creative Europe Desk. We have information office in each and every of your countries. Go to them, they will be able to explain you and accompanying you in the development of your projects. Thank you very much, and I'm sure Clément can also answer some of your questions at the end of the seminar on those topics. Good luck. Thank you.